Hey guys, so today, as you can see, I don't have makeup on, nothing, because I know I'm gonna cry in this video just because it's really gonna be like a raw video. I wrote down some talking points here, but basically what I wanted to make a video about today was basically how I've been trying to heal my inner child while parenting. And the reason that I came up with wanting to talk about this topic is because a couple days ago on the Red Table Talk, Jada did so on May 25th, Jada did an episode on the Red Table Talk. Sorry if you guys hear stuff in the background, it's because Amari's here. This is gonna be a raw video, so you know this is why I look like this again. Here I go with the ums. But Jada did a video on the Red Table Talk, an episode on the Red Table Talk, about the 3 critical needs every daughter requires from her mother. And when I tell y'all that this video really, I was damn near in tears, because before anything, this video may trigger some people. And also, I'm not here to bash my mother. My mother is the most important, most respectable, most amazing person in my life and in a lot of my family members' lives. My mom is really the go-to person to a lot of people in my family. So this is not a video bashing my mom. I love my mother to death. My mother is my absolute everything, right next to Amari. So this is not that at all. But it's more so, this video really kind of triggered me because it spoke on things that growing up I had a lot of issues with that still trickle into my daily life now as I am 27 years old with a child. So this is why I decided to make this video, because I feel like it's important to talk about it. Because we always hear about daddy issues, which I also have as well, don't get me wrong. I have daddy issues as well, but no one talks about the mommy issues. And I feel like that's something that needs to be spoken on as well. Just to give you guys a little bit of my upbringing, a background of my upbringing. So, I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, by a single mother. I did not really have a relationship with my biological father, although I do know him. We speak here and there, not much. I have actual closer relationship with my biological siblings from my father's side than I do with my own actual father. My mother only had me, so I grew up an only child. With that being said, we lived with my grandparents who immigrated from the Dominican Republic when I was 6 months old. So it was just us 4. When I turned 3 years old, my stepfather entered my life. And, you know, he was somewhat of my father figure. To say, I'm not going to say he was completely useless, because that's not it at all. He did what he could and what I would allow. I grew up in a very non-affectionate household. My mother was not affectionate at all. I believe she showed her affection by obviously working, providing for me, going to my school plays. I wasn't spoiled by any means. I had to wait like any other family with 3, 4, 5 kids to get something that I wanted. That's why I feel like I have so much control now as an adult, where I don't really need materialistic things, because my mother very much taught me that I needed to wait. If I can't afford it, you don't need it. If she couldn't afford it, I would eventually get it, but not right when I wanted it. So she instilled those qualities in me that I am super grateful for. But my mother wasn't a hugger. She wasn't verbally affectionate. I felt most of the time like my feelings weren't taken serious, or I'm not gonna say validated. I just didn't feel understood, because a lot of there's a really big problem with Hispanic mothers, to where they don't take their children's mental issues that serious. For example, if you say you're depressed at the age of 12, they literally will be like, what the fuck are you, like, excuse my language, what are you depressed about? You're just a child. That could be in many other races as well, but personally I can only speak on the Hispanic side. That's really what you would get. It's not really taken that serious. Anxiety is not taken serious. Depression's not taken serious. So most of the time I didn't feel validated. I didn't feel understood. So that's kind of how I grew up. How it affected my upbringing, it really didn't trigger me that much when I was like in elementary school, because I don't think that I really understood what was going on. I feel like when I was in elementary school, since this is what I was growing up in, it felt like the norm. It felt normal for my mom to not tell me that she loves me, to not hug me, to not sit with me and ask me about my day, not sit with me and ask me about my friends, or if I have any friends, how I was feeling, or telling me if I got like an award in school, not telling me that she's proud of me, or like good job, just words of encouragement. That all didn't bother me because it felt normal until I started reaching middle school, and I would see other children's moms being affectionate with them, giving them a kiss when they pick them up from school, talking to them. It really started to kind of mess with my mind, to where at one point I thought that my mom genuinely didn't care for me, didn't love me. At one point in my life I thought I was adopted, because in my mind I'm like, how is it that you don't show any affection towards me? You know, not that my mom was mean. My mom was not mean at all. She was just very closed off. And I remember something that she told me when I was young, when I did ask her, why doesn't she cry? Because I've never saw my mom cry. Obviously I do now, because I'm a lot older and we have a closer relationship. We talk about absolutely everything. So obviously I see my mother cry now, but when I was younger I never saw my mom cry. So I remember asking her, why don't you cry? And she told me, I feel like I have a box around my heart. I have a cold heart. And I truly believed it at that time. I was just like, okay, like my mom has a box for a heart, like she doesn't feel. And that kind of scared me, because I didn't understand how someone can have a box for a heart, you know? It triggered me a lot from the moment I started middle school all the way until high school. I had a very, very hard time trying to understand my emotions, trying to understand why I felt so much anger, why I felt so sad, although you couldn't physically really see it because I was putting up a facade about being happy and feeling happy and, you know, always smiling and stuff. But deep down, like, I really had a lot of issues to where, you know, I was very snappy and I was doing things to kind of get a reaction out of my mom. Like, for example, I got my lip pierced at 14. Like, my mom is so against all that stuff. Piercings, tattoos, she's very much old school. I was doing just about anything, not purposely either, but in a way I knew it would get a reaction out of her. So I was doing things to kind of trigger her so that she can pay attention in a way without realizing what I was really doing. So for example, I got my lip pierced at 14 years old. My mom didn't talk to me for a month. She wanted to kick me out of our own home and wanted me to actually go live with my biological father. Then at 15, I got my belly button pierced. At 16, I got my first tattoo. I just kept rebelling against her, and it was immense full amount of arguments and bickering in our household that it just turned to where, like, I completely didn't have really a relationship with my mom at all. And that whole lack of affection, lack of being misunderstood or not understood at all, really played a really big part into my upbringing. Say as well, it affects me immensely nowadays in my relationships because I seek that love that I craved so much, or like that affection that I craved so much, and I seek that in every relationship, long-term relationship that I'm in, not short-term. If I'm just dating you, I'm just dating you. But once I start to feel for you, I start seeking that in you. And my issue is that once you give me that little bit of where I feel like I'm important to you and that I matter to you and that you love me, I cling. I cling, and I fear of losing anyone who I feel can give me that love that I craved so much when I was little, or growing up. So I do anything to really hold on and attach to that because I crave it so much, and it's like I need it in order to be okay. It affects me tremendously if there's like a fight, if I have a fight with whoever I'm with, or a disagreement, or a break or a breakup. I'm automatically not feeling like my world is over, but feeling like there's a huge void in my life and that I don't matter, because once again someone left my life, or you know, that's part of daddy issues, but it's more so like I don't matter. And the one person that I felt like I mattered to, that really was giving me what I've always wanted, is gone. You know, that's tough, because you should never depend on another person for you to feel loved or validated. You know, as your own self, you should be able to give that to yourself through what you do in life. Or even me as a mom, I should feel that validation of unconditional love and, you know, validation and all that through just being a mother. And I lack that so much, and it makes me feel so guilty. And, you know, I've taken therapy before, but for issues like this, you need to be consistent with therapy. I've taken therapy a lot in my life, actually. A lot through high school and all that stuff, but, you know, as I got older, I kind of stopped, kind of slowed down and stuff, because that costs money. But therapy has kind of shown me and told me, I've figured out how I am in relationships. So I have a very anxious attachment style in relationships. I want to raise, or I am raising, Amari differently. I'm raising Amari where every single day I validate Amari. Amari is only 1.5 years, but from the moment that he started doing things on his own, 3 months old, rolling over on his own, 5 months old, crawling, 9 months he was walking, every milestone, clapping his hands, smiling, pointing, saying his numbers, saying hello on the phone, any little thing that he does, I validate all of it. And I tell him constantly, every single day, you're amazing. I speak life and love into my son. It may not be how other people do it, but my form, I do this every day on a constant. He does something, I clap. I acknowledge his milestones, and I speak love and life into him, as well as Jamal, as well as his dad. But me, I need to do this for him, because it's in turn healing me, and it's making me feel so much better. Every day I tell my son I love him, even if he may not understand me right now. Every day I tell him I love him. I hug him, I dance with him, I play with him. We say our colors, I say the colors, he really can't say colors yet. We count together, we do ABCs together. I try to do so much every single day so that when he grows up, he doesn't feel like he's not validated, he's not loved, he's lacking affection from his parents, especially from his mom. Because I hurt so much nowadays because I did not get that. My mother, which I love, again, with my heart and soul, I love my mother. But I am 27 years old, and till this day, my mother will not tell me to my face, I love you. She'll write it in a post. You know, if she's posting something, like, you know, I love you, she'll tag me, all that stuff. But physically, out of her mouth, my mother will not say, I love you. When I hug my mother, it's awkward. It's an awkward hug. I shouldn't have to feel like me hugging my mother is awkward. That triggers me. I don't want my son to feel that way. So I'm definitely set on showing Amari how I want to love him, how I want to show affection to him. And that's the way I do it, by speaking love and life into him, hugging him every day, and constantly reminding him that I love him. I even apologize to him, my son. He's 1.5 years. I even apologize to him when I get overwhelmed and I yell at him, or if I give him a quick spanking. I even apologized to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, mommy's just a little frustrated. Because you really, if I don't do that, I'm afraid he'll grow up and think that I hate him. And although I know my mom doesn't hate me, that's not what this is, but there were a lot of times where I thought that my mother did not love me. That's hard. That is so hard to live with. And it affects you tremendously. I personally feel like as I am parenting and as I am doing this every day and growing older, that I am healing. I feel like I am healing my inner child. Him seeing me and daddy being affectionate. Like, that's how you know that my son knows affection as well. Amari will just randomly come up to me and he'll rub me. He'll randomly come up to me and hug me. Because he sees affection and love in his household. He sees that on a constant with his parents. He sees that separately with just me and him. He sees that separately with just him and daddy. He's growing up in a household that shows love and affection regardless of the situation. He is seeing affection, he is feeling affection, he is feeling love, he is feeling reassured, he is constantly being encouraged, and that's what I want for him. Kind of only touched base a little bit on the Jada episode, but that episode, like, I'm gonna leave it linked down below, but if you guys feel like if you guys have any of these traumas, that's a very good episode to watch. Yes. Okay, baby. High five. Good job. No, I don't want the crayons. But till this day, there's a lack of affection. And thank you. He's blowing kisses. Kissy, kissy, kissy. There's still a lack of affection till this day, and I want to change that so badly between me and my mom. But as I got older, I realized where it stems from with my mother. It's really generational, and it's just keeps going down and down and down until and it's up to us to break those generational curses. It's up to us to stop and be like, why the hell aren't we being affectionate with our children? You should never have to feel like, as a parent, that you can't be affectionate with your child, or that you shouldn't show affection to your child. It's not building character. It's creating trauma. My bad, guys. My phone died, but like I was saying, we don't need to raise our children to where they feel like we don't love them or validate them. I don't want crayons. No. I don't want to eat crayons, baby. No, thank you. Oh my god. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, please watch the Red Table Talk video. Please watch the Red Table Talk video. I'm gonna link it down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Say bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Oh, he's being rude today. All right, bye, guys.